Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Sorry we're a few minutes late, or gosh, 10 minutes late. I was racing back home after dropping my daughter off at summer camp, and there was road construction. So thanks for your patience. We're just hopping in here very quickly today to give you a quick update on what it's like to travel in Slovenia right now. And we're lucky because Tine is in his home in the Vipava Valley in Slovenia. So he's just going to kind of show us around a little bit to give you an idea what it's kind of like to at home in Slovenia. So
yeah, thank you for this introduction and thank you for joining us yet again. Gosh, we've been doing this now for what, 6, 7, maybe more times, 10 times. And I've been everywhere. I've been in the UK Islands and cycling and in other part of Slovenia and many times in London. But today I'm happy to show you the house where I actually grew up. And this is our house in Slovenia in my town called Ajdovščina in Vipava Valley. You can see the house there, and I'll walk you around a bit there later on. There is Mount Challenge up there, which is a very popular spot to walk, and you see all that direction there. All these little hills when you have a lot of vineyards and a lot of all the famous winemakers from this region come from there. And on that small hill there is a place called Vipavski Križ, which is like an old square town with a lot of history, monastery and everything. So that's another thing we can see when we come here. I will walk you around the house and the garden so you can see. It's just after the rain, so it's very green and lush today. But maybe before we do this, let's just quickly talk about the latest stuff happening in terms of traveling to Europe and to Slovenia. Today is 1st of July. I'm happy also to announce that Slovenia took the presidency of European Union today. So for half a year, Slovenia would be officially in charge of European Union. This is more a role that rolls every half a year to every different country, and it's very good for promotion of Slovenia and for showing how the country is improving and everything. In the last couple of weeks, more and more restriction have been eased for traveling for the US travelers to travel to Europe. So I think all the major countries are easing down the restriction. The same goes for Slovenia. Slovenia is now implementing the green certificate. So this means that everybody who is vaccinated, had COVID before or was tested will have this certificate, so it can travel around. So that's going to be much easier for the Europeans to travel around. For you guys from the US, I think the borders are now pretty much open, and you can come here. I think subject to testing. There are some fears about the Delta variant in Europe, so don't fly with Delta. No, I'm joking. It's nothing to do with Delta airline. It's just the Delta variant, which is spreading around the UK and Portugal lately. And we're going to see. I mean, I probably expect the whole Europe to get it, and then US as well. But there is no, the death rate is very small and the hospitalization rate is very small. So it's sort of a positive feedback for all those who got vaccinated, and shows that vaccine actually really help, and it saves lives. So that's very positive, and I'm pretty much sure that we will have a traveling season this summer and in spring and in autumn. So that should be fine. This is from us. I mean, in terms of like always, in terms of latest news, check the embassies, check the embassy website. Check what your government suggests, check what European governments suggest. And if you have any questions for any potential travelers to Europe, not just Slovenia, feel free to ask me and Ashley, and we're happy to help. But yeah, now let's switch to where I am now. And do you have any questions, Ashley, for before I show you our garden and everything?
I don't have any. That was a great overview. I'm excited about all of the progress that's being made which will allow more tourism. Yay for that.
Yeah, that's what we are all are hoping for. Our group, I work with similar group in the UK. They're all desperate as well, and my Balkan partners, they're all asking me when are the Americans and the British coming. I said, well, when it's going to be possible. There is a big pent-up demand and a lot of saved money apparently among people to travel, and people are desperate to travel. Especially, I know this for the Brits because they have, for example, we had like extremely sunny weather, and in Celsius we had almost 40 degrees Celsius in the last couple of days. It was really hot. But then you go to the UK and it's almost a winter condition. It's like 12, 13 degrees Celsius, which is I don't know what in Fahrenheit, but it's very cold. It's like winter here. So of course they want to travel. Okay, let me show you a bit around. So, okay, I'm turning around my camera. So this would be a typical countryside. For here, you see you have a bit of a hilly places where people like to walk and stroll. You can cycle up there. And you see the construction of houses here. Typical, you can spot the stones on the top of the roofs. And this is typical for this region. Why? Because Vipava Valley is, as you see today, it's very windy. This is a mild wind, but in winter the wind can get like 100 kilometers per hour, and it would leave the roof. So that's why people put stones on the top of the roof, so the roofs are a bit heavier. And you see, this is a typical architecture for here as well. This is a very good area to grow stuff because it has a Mediterranean climate, and it's very good. It gets dry in summer, but otherwise it's very, oh, we got some sun. Otherwise it's very lush and very green. And as you see today after rain, especially, the garden is just blooming.
It's beautiful.
And yeah. We have new neighbors with a nice house. She's an architecture actually. This is what my parents just did last week. Last winter. So they set this type of garden. So it's all grows up, has a good soil and everything, and has a perfect condition for growing. So they don't need much because they have another bigger garden elsewhere. So this is only for here next to the house. And you can see we have the mountains just behind the house. As I said, it's really nice, and the views from up there are amazing. So sometimes I would go early in the mornings or late in the evenings to walk there or cycle.
Is that karst? It looks like rocky.
Well, yeah, that's the rim of the karst. Karst is actually that direction. It's much lower.
Okay.
So that would be a karst region. Okay, it doesn't see rocky from here, but I mean, this would be the rim of the karst, and this is much higher. So behind this, not that far away, behind this, probably about 40 miles as a crow flies, it's already Lake Bohinj, and it's in a way on different part of Slovenia. You can see we have an olive tree, so this is a perfect area for this Mediterranean. This is a proper Mediterranean climate, so all the Mediterranean stuff would grow here. Yeah, I'll take you in the front of the house as well.
So is it very common for people to have their own gardens there and grow?
Oh yeah. That's like a Slovenian sport. To grow own stuff. Everybody would have its own vegetables and fruits. For example, this is an apricot tree. You see, every second year we have an apricot. This is my cherry tree, which I'm very emotionally attached to. So I can't be every May or June here because I'm somewhere around the world, usually UK, US, wherever. And sometimes I miss the cherries, but that's are the best cherries. Like all my childhood would have. For example, this one here is a persimmon tree. It's a small one, but it grows persimmons and all sorts of vegetation and fruit trees we have here, and they all grow here. So yeah, and I'll show you also. I mean, we have just few vine trees here, but for example, you see, this would be in. Oh yeah, you can see. Okay, you can already see some grapes.
Oh wow!
So this would be ready in late August, maybe
So
September.
do you make your own wine or do you eat the grapes?
Oh well, this one are just for eating. This one are not good for winemaking.
Okay.
They are just for eating, and basically my father just have it here, so it brings a bit of shade when you park a car. Another olive tree, and you see our neighbors have a wine tree as well. But yeah, we used to have about 1,000 vines, and we did our own wine. But then because my cousin is a big winemaker, and my father didn't have energy anymore to do his own wine, and it's better production by my cousin, so he just gave him those wines, and we get some actual wine back. And yeah,
it's so cool.
So yeah, this is just a short introduction on on my garden, and to show you how we live here in Slovenia. I mean, now it's probably one of the most pleasant times, especially the day after the rain, to be here, because it's not too hot and it's windy, it's fresh. It was quite stuffy the last few days, very humid. It reminds me actually of New York in summer.
So when it's hot, 40 Celsius, that's like 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, is it, do people usually have air conditioning where you live, or?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, before I can't remember anybody having air conditioning like when I was a child, like when I was 10. I don't know how it was in the US, but I can't remember people having air conditioning 20, 30 years ago. But now it's almost unbearable to have be without air conditioning. We have only one in this house, and we're already thinking of getting another one. I mean, the main area here gets very hot, and I mean, you can open all the windows in the evening, and it gets fresh. And as you see, it's quite breezy here, so you can get a good breeze through the house, and that helps. But overall, I think it's just a global warming, I guess. The things are changing so drastically that everybody needs to think about having air condition, like especially here. I'm following what's happening on the west coast of the US, especially in Canada now, and it's crazy, isn't it? Like you never had such a heat waves there. So I guess
I was just asking because, like, I know I've traveled to Italy in the summer, and there are hotels that don't have air conditioning, and
wow,
for an American, that's like, what? So just kind of curious what the culture is around air
conditioning. No, I mean, hotels would all have air conditioning.
Yeah.
In the UK, for example, in the UK they don't have. It's not necessary that people would have air conditioning at home, but they don't have these heat waves. Here, yes, people do have air conditions, and especially now, and all the most certainly majority of the tourist services and rooms in hotels and restaurants will have it, because it's unbearable otherwise.
But where you live, you still experience all 4 seasons, correct? You get like snow.
Yeah. Well. So it's interesting that you ask. I'll show you again this mountain that I was showing you before. In winter, sometimes you can clearly see where is the snow line. So, for example, snow would be up somewhere here, and then underneath it wouldn't be snow anymore, because it's a climate for. It's a Mediterranean climate up there and down here, and up there it's different. Up there is more wintry. It's more already alpine climate. So, but even here it gets very cold in the winter. Very windy, as you see now. But this wind called Bora in winter can become very cold. And even though the degrees are not so low, but combined with the wind, as you know, many of those who live in Chicago and places like this, it gets unbearable. It gets really crazy. And then this is now summer, proper summer, although it's still very lush. Usually would be even more drier. And then once we're gonna get towards autumn, so if we're all here in September, you're gonna see the colors will turn very. We're gonna be like. Upstate New York, or all those places, New England, or what are the places there that have this sun, Vermont and all these places that they're very by the colors and everything. So Slovenia, especially this region part, and here gets very colorful and red. And then winter is cold really, and then you go back to spring, and spring is again spring is again very green, and it's very, very distinctive four seasons, I would say.
I like four seasons.
Yeah, too. Not the hotel chain necessarily, but the real season.
All right. Well, thank you for showing us around your home. It's beautiful there. And gosh, I can't wait to get back to Slovenia. It's just gorgeous. Is there
Should
any?
I teach you the word for home in Slovenian?
Oh, that's good. Yeah, do it.
You can Google it quickly and then we'll say it together.
Okay.
So it's only three letters, D-O-M.
D-O-M.
Yeah. And it
Right.
means home. Or D-O-M-A, it's also home, doma.
Dom, okay, or doma. All right, I'm gonna
Doma.
try to put it up here so people can see it once I get it on here.
It's a very easy.
Okay, gonna share it real quick so you all can see it. That's a good one. I'm glad you decided to you finally picked a word. Okay, dome, otherwise known as home.
Dom. And it's Croatian and Serbian language as well, so you can pass it there as well. Dom means home, and I'm home. You can say ja sam doma, so you can say dom, doma. Dom is the word for home. Yeah, so you see.
Perfect.
So we learned the word.
I learned a new word. Yay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next week. And for all the Americans watching, happy Independence Day this weekend.
Day.
And I hope you all have a great time. So thanks.
Really hope to be in New York this weekend and to maybe come in you, but unfortunately we are still people from Schengen are still restricted to travel to the US. So I have to abandon this travel from my side, and was really sad because I miss New York. Is my second home almost, but I think New York will stay for a while, so I'm looking forward to come.
Yeah, New York will still be there. All right, thanks, Tine.
Okay, happy Independence Day.